My name is Nick Oliveri, and I'm a service learning representative from California State University, Monterey Bay, and I'm proudly serving the Monterey County Free Libraries. So today we have a book chat for you in the adult fiction section. Now, quick warning before we go into Okey Ndibe's great work is there is a lot of content of sex work, sexual assault, and many other adult themes, drug use, imprisonment throughout this book. So if you're not comfortable with any of those, please feel free to skip this video. Arrows of Rain is essentially about, it says on the cover here of the 20th anniversary edition, and I'm saying this because it's so indicative of the book itself and actually the theme around the book, which the main character Bukuru firmly believes in, and we're going to explore that a little bit more why. But it says, this is a Vanity Fair quote in their review: "The greatest villain in Okey Ndibe's Arrows of Rain is silence." So there are legitimate villains, human villains in this book that do sexual assault, and that Bukuru, the main character, who's a homeless man, has seen. But what Vanity Fair is saying is silence is the greatest weapon. And what the government is trying to do, and even what the leader of the fictional country of Medea, where this book takes place, is trying to do, is silence Bukuru, silence dissent, silence open discussion, and silence really anything that could get them in trouble, that could turn public discourse against them, and even get them in legal trouble. Okey Ndibe, let's talk about him real quick. He is a much accomplished novelist from Yola, Nigeria. So he is at this point a Nigerian American, but he was a Nigerian national, and he's published two novels, Arrows of Rain and Foreign Gods, Inc. And they're both critically acclaimed, but it's funny, they were actually published 14 years apart from each other. He started out as a journalist and a magazine editor, right? So and now when we transition it back to the book Arrows of Rain, the prose is very economical. So let's get a little bit more into the book. I mentioned Bukuru earlier, and Bukuru is the main character, and he's actually a homeless man, but he has a big, crazy past. Crazy, I say that as just, he has this past of so many ups and downs, of loves that were lost, of meeting dancers and sex workers, and being imprisoned eventually, where he talks actually to Femi Adero, who is a young reporter who is sent out to cover, and this is the inciting incident, essentially, a prostitute's body that washes up on the beach. And it's actually Bukuru, Okey Ndibe's main character, who witnessed this rape by soldiers of Medea. So he saw this rape, and he is outspoken. So when we go back to the Vanity Fair quote, "The greatest villain in Okey Ndibe's Arrows of Rain is silence," Bukuru flies in the face of silence. Bukuru is that brave person, and I think Bukuru represents a person in all of us that could come out when we see injustice. Now, in this case, the injustice is extremely violent, awful, and depraved, in that it's a rape of a prostitute, which Bukuru witnessed. And no, he's not staying silent, because these are powerful people that committed this crime. These are powerful people with guns from the government, from this centralized authority, that can get Bukuru in big trouble or even killed. And Okey Ndibe is sending a message here. So, but a lot of the book is actually Femi hearing Bukuru's story, but it's Bukuru's life story. So it kind of meanders, and so a lot of my early readings, I'd say the first 50 or so pages of the book, a lot of the early readings were about actually the fictional history of the fictional nation of Medea and how it formed. But here, Okey Ndibe actually practices a lot of knowledge of politics, of the geopolitical regime, how nations even take place. He uses a lot of knowledge of government and in power in general, and so the country's leader, General Issa Palabello, um, Bukuru also names, and obviously that's the most powerful person in the nation who seized power. They call him general because he's a military leader. He's a militant man, and he also raped a prostitute. And Bukuru is outspoken about that and tells Femi this along his sort of meandering story. Bukuru has this quote. Bukuru tells Femi, "Like you, I started out as a young man working for a newspaper, but I was weak." So this is a story of redemption, really, because Bukuru, unlike Femi, didn't speak out to power. Unlike Femi, he didn't go to the prisons and talk to the people that may have had insight against powerful people, against injustice, against crimes that were actually really going on. It's about speaking out. It's about redemption. It's a book about trials, and really it's a book about sacrifice as well. I really appreciate it. Once again, I'm Nick Oliveri, a service learning representative with California State University, Monterey Bay. This has been Monterey County Free Library's Adult Fiction Book Chat, and I really appreciate you tuning in. Until next time.